Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to Oberon's Outlook on the Emotional Exchanges, my weekly tarot forecast for the elemental signs of the Zodiac. We start off with a word for the collective, and I usually use my Isis tarot for that. Whoops. There she is. So let's get started with that right away. And remember, tarot readings are a snapshot in time. It is thought that it is for entertainment purposes only, but we hope to inspire your own thoughts, your own thinking on situations that maybe are showing up there. They may impart wisdom to you. They may be something you should think about. But again, if you are seeking actual medical, legal, or other professional advice, you should talk to those persons. So we thank you, as always, for watching. Don't forget we have a live stream, which I'm going to show you in a moment. It's on Thursdays and Sundays. So let's draw that collective card for the gathering. Oh, how nice. Autumn, how appropriate. 26, number 26. So let's take a look at that and get our thoughts for the week together for everyone. Autumn. Sadness and melancholy, reflection, spiritual ways, spiritual insight, thrift, limitations. Perhaps we have thoughts about those who have passed away. We reflect on the transitions of the body and the transitory nature of all of that. And we look on to a past period in our life, perhaps a reflection of what we remember best, what we want to cherish. So I'm going to leave us with that for the gathering for the week. Remember, this is autumn, and we are moving closer and closer towards Halloween, which sort of signifies the end of autumn and maybe the beginning of winter. A time of year when we really do need to take stock and make sure we are ready for what is to come, whatever the winter brings us. So with that being said, we are going to move on, and we do the elemental readings in the orders of air, fire, water, and earth. So first up are the air signs. Air signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And they, like every card here, they get a word of the week. And that word is transformation. Number 21. So it's judgment in most standard tarot decks. This is a sorted tarot deck, Egyptian theme. So air signs will be thinking about all those things they need to do to see transformation in their lives, to understand how to reevaluate yourself in a total capacity. It's not just maybe invigorating your body. Lord knows some of us need that. But it is about also considering what needs to be inspired, what needs to reflect. And it kind of coincides with our card for all for the week, transformation. So I'm going to, or not, I'm sorry, that one was autumn. So I'm going to leave us with that because the idea is that we are transitioning to another season. It is a good time to take stock of where we've been and where we're going. Alrighty, so now we're going to get on with the rest of the reading. And I use the Clive Barrett Ancient Egypt Tarot for that. That one fell and I want it. I don't know why. What emotional happiness will you find this week? Well, we have the Devil. And the thing is that many of us may feel that even if our relationships have restrictions on them, we may find value in being in those situations, and that sometimes maybe we are thinking that it's time to take a diminished role perhaps and let somebody else make some harder decisions. At least for this week alone, it may be that if we are giving in to some of those kind of ideas, letting certain other authorities take over hopefully not too dramatically. Maybe we will find comfort in that, if not happiness. I don't know. I mean, when you look at the devil card, it often talks about bad habits or being obsessed with something. And I don't find that those are necessarily happy thoughts, but when I look at it from that broader perspective of society, and that the idea that maybe some things are better left to the professionals and some things are better left from that restriction, limitation point of view to give us a sense of security, even if we don't always feel that way when it enacts upon our personal freedoms. But really, public safety should always be at the top of everybody's list, and certainly at the top of what we want governments or agencies to do, period. So now we're going to go on to the rest of our cards, and I think I'm just going to draw them randomly, like the first one fell. So what emotional surprises or challenges will you face this week? And I have drawn the Four of Swords reversed. And I think the Four of Swords reversed is saying what will challenge us this week is maybe the idea that we are, in ways either intended or not, we are returning to activity. We are rejoining a cycle of life. This may be a surprise if you have really not been able to do that for whatever reasons. It may be a challenge if you're not really ready for that too. Right now, and this reading is good for Friday, October 23rd to the following Thursday, which would be the 29th. That there are so many things going on right now with the virus rising up again in many states and levels being really high. And so for those of us who maybe are having to get out there in the world, to be out there in the world, this may be a very challenging time. So air signs, I'm thinking you are very much informed by that, and good luck. And then finally, what will concern our closer relationships, whether they're romantic, platonic, co-workers, anybody that we have a really good friendship going with. And it's the Three of Cups, and it's reversed. And so it's not so bad, but I think what it says is that the Three of Cups talks about people who are able to celebrate somebody else's happiness. The usual connotation is maybe it's about a wedding or a celebration like that, a wedding shower, baby showers, coming together of people to share joy. And when it's reversed, maybe it's saying it's not quite that much. So maybe that what could look like delays to some of these plans. So maybe if people were hoping things were going to be a lot better for the fall or for the time of their wedding or their showers or gatherings, birthday, moving towards the fall part of the year, Thanksgivings and the holidays, these things may not be really settled yet. There may be reasons why we may want to delay these things. We may want to put them off, or that we may find that there's a happiness there that is a little tinged with concern. So let's go through that again. Our first card was transformation, and transformation seems to imply that we are looking at really reevaluating almost everything in our lives. We're followed with the emotional happiness we find this week, which is the devil. Maybe it's just saying that maybe you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. You know, the devil you know, the devil you don't know. I could roll out a couple more colloquialisms, but sometimes maybe it's just best to say that there is security in knowing that other people maybe have control. And that's all I'm going to say. The devil has a lot of Capricorn connotations, and Capricorn is a good business kind of sign. It sort of directs really good business or practical standards of management. So there is that too. Now, the emotional surprises, the Four of Swords is indicating that what may challenge or surprise us is that we have to move back out into the world, whether we're ready for that or not. We have to become more active. And I'm thinking, you know, this is a thinking man's thing. It's the sword, so it's like we may be spending a lot of time thinking about this. Don't overthink it. kind of go with the flow. And remember, you are the most important person, and those next to you are the next most important persons. You can't save anyone else if you can't save yourself. You have to do what you have to do. Make sure you protect yourself. And then finally, we had the Three of Cups reversed, and that was in the area of what concerns our other friendships. And maybe we're seeing some delays or some ways of trying to reconsider, think around the celebrations that are coming up soon, weddings, Halloween, birthdays, Thanksgiving, whatever it is. We may have to change some of our plans. We may have to settle for a different kind of way to celebrate. So that's what I had for the air signs. And now we will move on to the fire signs. And fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And their word of the week is hot. Major Arcana 2, the High Priestess, the Priestess in this deck. And I'm going to suggest that that talks about inner wisdom, inner resonance with what you know to be sacred, but also truthful. The secrets that maybe you have to keep to yourself, but you know that when you need them, you can use them to inform how you are helping others, how you are moving forward in the world with grace and wisdom. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and shuffle our cards, see what we're getting there for the fire signs. Remember to watch Banshee's Material Matters on Sundays.
Everyone.
It's the corollary to my show. My show does emotional things. Her show does practical material things. And it's not surprising that sometimes the two can interface. But her show is on 10 o'clock Sunday mornings. And guess what? We're often in the chat room to explain things or just to sip our coffee and check out what everybody else is thinking about stuff. So join us 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Times on Sunday mornings. I know Banshee will be happy if you do that. All right, so I'm going to pull the first card. What emotional happiness will you find this week? Wow, I think somebody like the Banshee Aries person I know is really going to like this. It's the upright Nine of Cups. And this could be saying this is the week where things really start to fall into place. Maybe it's not that big lottery windfall that Banshee's always hoping for, but it could be. The Nine of Cups is a wish card, but it also in and of itself signifies a good level, a high level of material comfort. And the emotional joy of having that material comfort too. That's important to say that. So I'm thinking if you're feeling lucky, because it's a wish card, go ahead and play some lotteries, go ahead and play games of chance, go ahead and take some chances with the various things you may not always do. But clearly there's a lot of aspect here for something to really bring you a lot of pleasure. I mean, even if it's not winning the lottery, this card says you're going to do something you really love. You're going to really like something this week. So no matter what it is, maybe you're going to go on a mystery date, a safe one, we hope, but you're going to do something really that just tickles you pink. And so then what emotional challenges or surprises will you face? And we have the King of Cups. And I'm thinking that some of us may find that we are being called to be kind to others and to be helpful to others and to counsel others, and that this is a challenge, but it also surprises us perhaps because it brings us to another level, a level within ourselves, but also within the community view of people, the people that we resonate to emotionally, our families, friends, coworkers, etc. And so I'm thinking this challenge is rising to the occasion, so to speak, of maybe showing how to put kindness forward, how to show, benevolence for humankind and for all kind, animals too, hey. So good luck with that. Seize those opportunities as they show. Speak up when appropriate. The force seems to be with you. What can I say? And then finally, what will concern the romantic relationships, the loving family, friend, or coworker relationships. And this card jumped out at me, so I'm grabbing it. And it's the Two of Swords upright. Two of Swords upright. Well, I think we may find that some in these relationships, no matter how close, are looking at decisions and choices they're making, and maybe they're needing some advice. Maybe they're not exactly seeing all the aspects that they need to, and maybe you will be the person, because you're being a benevolent, kind sort. You have a lot of luck on your side. Those cups are really important here in the fire signs reading this week. But the swords are saying the mental element of people who are wrestling with decisions, choices, and these are people who are the closest to you. You could probably see that and help them out with that. Maybe you should offer advice. So I'm going to recap here. Our first card was the High Priestess. Oh, advice, wisdom, insight. This is you this week. This is all you fire signs this week. You are really disposed towards grasping it mentally from deep within and being able to put it out there. And what you find that is mostly emotionally happy this week is how that buoys you, how lucky you feel, how enjoyment of the pleasure of your life you feel, maybe because you have the keys to the kingdom or something. And maybe you're willing to share those keys, because what will challenge and surprise you is how you can rise to the occasion, offering comfort, wisdom, benevolence of some sort, counseling to others. You're going to rock. People are going to really look at you and think of how kind you have been to them. And they will remember that. And then finally, what concerns your other relationships, it just all sort of flows together. They need you to help them. They need you to give them a little advice, give them a little information, help them with the decisions they're making now. I don't think these are decisions that necessarily concern you directly. This is not somebody saying, should I stay or should I go? This is some other stuff. You are helping them with that. It's clear to me as day. So that's what we have for the fire signs. And I thank you for listening. And now we're going to move on to the water signs. And water signs, you know who you are. You are Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. I did them in reverse, didn't I? It's Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. I'm always doing something like that. Anyway, you guys are usually the most prone to being emotional or to handling situations emotionally or reacting emotionally. However, some of you do have control or can find control. All of you can, really. So what is your word of the week, water signs? Consummation. And I think this is a consummation that's not necessarily talking about physicality in the normal sense of the word. Like, you know, you get married and if you hadn't actually had sex before, then that's called the consummation. Or regardless, you know, a coupling of some sort usually is involved in considering the term consummation. So what are you possibly coupling with? Maybe you're coupling with your desire, water signs, emotional, to look beyond at this time of the year. There's a mummy there, and I'm thinking we're opening ourselves up, water signs, to feeling relationships with spirit around us, whether it's spirit that's past, whether it's spirit that's here, whether it's spirit from above or all around us. We are really working within our emotional realms to feel that connection with spirit. And like I said, it could be spirit in any of its forms. It doesn't have to be those who have passed. It could be something else. It could be animal spirit. We might feel closer to nature at this time. It's all spirit. It's all spirit. So let's go forward to the reading for water signs. What happiness will you find this week? It's the Nine of Wands reversed. The Nine of Wands reversed may be indicating you can step down from kind of a position of guardianship, you can gratefully kind of step down a little bit from your position as a gatekeeper, your position as a guardian, your position as an arbitrator of things between other people. You have been there and you've understood what it takes to work with differing factions, differing energies, and you are now ready to kind of be relieved from that. You're kind of ready to take your deserved rest and consider moving on to other projects. Perhaps that work is done for now, and so now you can be happy knowing that you stood your ground and you helped others as you needed to, and now maybe it's time for yourself, it's time for something else. So now we're saying, what emotional challenges will you face at this time, and or surprises? And it's the reversed 3 of coins, 3 of discs, 3 of pentagrams. And a challenge you may face is that perhaps there's some question about your finesse, your exacting nature, your creative nature, your work, your skills. So it may be possible that you will be receiving ideas, messages, information that suggests to you that you need to move from that position of being protector for others and move to a position where you refocus back on tasks at hand. Maybe you've been neglecting things about your work in particular. Coins, disc, pentacles talk more about possibly our work life. So this is saying it's now a good time, I think, to refocus in that area. And that maybe is a surprise that shouldn't be a surprise, because, you know, bosses like people to be the best at what they've hired them for. Excuse me. So finally then, what will concern our romantic, platonic, co-worker, family relationships the most this week? And it's another one, it's the 10 of Wands. And it's upright. And that seems to indicate to me that some of our associates that have that strong emotional realm with us, maybe they're feeling a little bit burdened. Maybe they're feeling oppressed in certain ways. A lot of times this card talks about bondage or obligations that we don't really like or that we are trying to escape. And perhaps that's why these things are happening, why you are changing from the one position of guardian level, possibly changing to reinvoking what you do in terms of your work, your creativity, your art, your goals, your avocations, all of that, because those around you are needing a little bit more freedom perhaps, and maybe being the guardian kind of was protective for them, but maybe it contained them, and maybe people only like being curtained so long. Oh, this sounds like politics, but we're not going to go there. It is probably just really within your nature to understand that this is happening around you, and that maybe you can be helpful, because maybe there are talents or skills here with that card, the 4 or the 3 of discs reversed. No, yeah, it's the 3 saying time to get back to work and help others liberate themselves through work too, or other things. So recapping really quickly, we need to couple with sacred truths, and that's not necessarily a limited coupling. Maybe it's a multi-coupling. We need to just understand sacred truths and help others understand them. We need to back away from maybe positions of control that we had, or of the sense of trying to be in charge. The sense of really knowing what it takes to be in charge, that is not so present now. Maybe it's time to relax a little bit and refocus on our own projects and help others who still have not quite seen their way towards where they're going, because these are the people closest to you, and maybe you need to spend more time with them now. So we're going to say that's it for the water signs for this week. Thank you for listening. And now we will move on to the earth signs. Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And they tend to be the most insulated from excessive emotion, but not always, you know. Their word of the week, it's the moon. Well, the moon is about fortune. The moon is about solitude. It's about secrecy and mysteries. So it may be that for this week, those in the earth sign range will be dealing with looking inward to discover mysteries or truths that are hidden. Maybe they're within ourselves, but maybe they're out there too and need to be discovered. So good luck with all of that, of course. And we're going to go into the reading now. I think I need to do one good riffle here. I haven't done one all day. Just want to make sure things are mixed up, but it seems like it has been mixed well. And our first card, what is the emotional happiness that you may find this week? And we have the Empress reversed. So right off the top of my head, those who might have been worried about a conception, well, maybe that conception won't happen. However, if you were hoping for that, then that won't be happy news for you. But I'm saying this is saying that maybe things that you expected to happen, but maybe you weren't totally invested in them, they won't necessarily happen, and that actually brings you some amount of happiness. It may be that you were thinking of things that were productive and created certain other issues. You know, the idea of fertility doesn't necessarily pertain to human fertility or animal fertility, but it could just say that things are populating or growing, and sometimes those things might be problems or issues, tasks, other things. And so if that was what it is, that's probably why this is reversed, because if that is not coming to you representing obligations or work to do, maybe that makes you happy at this time. I'll admit it, as a water sign, I can be pretty lazy, so, you know, I get that. Anyways, moving right along, what emotional challenges? I'm an earth sign, but I have a lot of earth in my chart. I guess that's why I said that. I can relate to this. I have a lot of Capricorn in my chart, if you haven't figured that out. Anyways, what emotional challenges or surprises will you face? And it's the Queen of Swords, and she's reversed. And I'm thinking this means earth signs are making a decision that they mostly have to make that decision, and that there is a level of scrutiny or introspection on that may appear to others as harsh or careless or unemotional. It's not really true. It's really a decision you have to make under parameters that say this is really what needs to be enforced strictly. This is what really needs to come out in this decision, this judgment. So it may be that what you're forced to decide is something that doesn't please you inside emotionally, but you know it's for the better that you actually do get to that. And then finally, what will concern the romantic relationships this week? And it's the Three of Swords upright. Someone is hurting this week. Someone will be hurt this week. Someone feels that they are being separated from what they love. The Three of Swords upright is literally the classic broken heart. It is stressful. You need to look around you, water signs, and see who around you in your relationships, whether they're romantic or personal friendships or family or platonic friends, co-workers, someone may be hurting. This is a big concern to them. Is it you? Is it your role? Are you possibly ending a relationship with someone, or someone ending it with you? There's a lot of pain here is what I see. And I'm hoping that as we go through the cards, we can see that maybe there is a tie here. The moon suggesting deceits, scandal, mysteries, maybe is telling us that this stuff is all a brewing here. The reversed Empress, a stagnation. Maybe things have really changed in terms of these close relationships, and maybe we're not feeling the bounty from them. And maybe this is not really a happiness position, but it's really of concern. and a decision to be made with the Queen of Swords, and a decision that is only going to come across as maybe harsh and uncaring. But rest assured, water signs, I believe this is a decision you do need to make. And then finally, with that Three of Swords there, it's saying that there are people around you who are having breakups or having big emotional traumas. And you may be a part of this due to what I'm seeing here, or it may be that you're going to have to be able to stand over that and just kind of hold on for the end of that. So it's not really the greatest. I'm not sure how I can resolve that other than saying that if you care for these people, you need to love them and tell them that you're still loving them, even if things change dramatically. So I guess that's it for this week, and I thank everybody for coming. Earth signs, water signs, fire signs, air signs. I thank you all for being here, and we will do this again next week, next Friday. That's October 30th, so check us out. Bye-bye.